So here we have 150 ml of water and 150 ml of milk. The milk can be semi-skimmed or just full fat milk, doesn't matter. So in with 125 grams of butter, salted or unsalted, doesn't really matter. So let's put that on a low heat to start with, and then you've got your 900 grams of caster sugar, not granulated, it has to be caster, the fine sugar. Right, so put that in as well. Now you can keep this bowl here for the last part when you need to pour your toffee into the cold. A wooden spoon and a whisk, and just start dispersing the sugar in amongst the liquid, the milk and the water. I've just got a standard thermometer here, like it'll come into play later on, but you're better using the digital ones, I find. So now you just want to combine this through and wait until your butter starts melting down. This will take about maybe 20 minutes the first stage, so you just want to keep it on a low heat and let the sugar dissolve and the butter melt. Now at this first stage here, when you're just melting the butter and dissolving the sugar, you don't have to be with it every single minute, because it's going to take about 20 minutes to completely sort of dissolve down and mix through properly. So you can leave it every now and again, just come up and give it a little stir. Okay. It's only once it gets to the point where it's dissolved in the sugar and that is combined with the butter and the milk and the water that you need to start increasing the temperature and bringing it up to a slow rolling boil. So it's starting to melt down now a bit more, so just stir it every now and again just to make sure it's nice and clear. And every now and again get a spatula and just go round the edges, just where there's a build up of the sugar crystals. Okay, just about there now, it's just about melted. But it's important to keep it on a low heat during this first stage process. And that way you won't build up any crystals in the sugar. So it's at the stage now where we can use the whisk and just make it a little bit easier. So now at this stage we can increase the heat, but don't have it too fierce, just have it maybe half of what you require. Now this cooker's only got 6 settings, so I've got that up to 3 now. I don't want to take it up to any more than about 4. So you need to just find your perfect temperature on whatever oven you're using. Now, okay, now it's starting, this is the first stage and it's just starting to come up to the bubble now. You just start seeing it boiling up, it's starting to foam up a little bit. Okay, so now at this point, just leave it. Right, just leave it to go that slow rolling boil. Okay, this will take about 15 minutes, give or take. Now, I've got this on a setting of 4 on my oven, which is 4 out of 6. Okay, and that's just about the right, you don't want to go any higher than that. It will rise, okay, but don't get too concerned, it'll just rise to a certain extent and it'll level off. Okay, so let's just leave it there for a slow rolling boil, and you want to get the temperature up to 114 centigrade, and then that's the point where you add your condensed milk. In this instance it's 200 ml of condensed milk. It's very important to measure the condensed milk off in mils, okay, because there's a big difference between mils and grams. Okay. So let that just bubble away in a slow boil. I'll bring it back down to 3 because it's between 3 and 4, around about the half heat setting on your oven. That's where you want it, just so that's that rolling boil. Okay, now we're just about ready for the second stage. So at this point here, temperature's roughly about 114 centigrade. It's not far off, it's more than enough. So now we need to add in our condensed milk. So the best way to do it is to put it all in it and start whisking it. And to get the last bits out, use a spatula to get all the last little bits. Okay, so here we go. So start whisking it. Try not to put your whisk at the bottom of the pan, if you can help it. Okay, so now we get the spatula and get every last little bit of that condensed milk out. There we go. So we'll start to whisk that in. So this is now the second and last stage now. So we'll just push your heat back up just slightly. I'll put mine back up to 4 out of 6. And again you want it to come up to a slow rolling boil. The only difference with this second stage is that you want a higher temperature. You want to get it up to 118 centigrade. It's really important that you get it up to that 118 centigrade. I like to get it up that high because it's safe, it will set, it will turn into tablet. You get a nice caramel colour, you get a nicer toffee taste as well. And it just looks aesthetically better as well, I think. I don't like the tablet, it's all peely-wally and too light. I like it to have a little bit of colour. There are many different recipes out there, of course, but I find this one is the easiest to do. So what to do is just take a spatula and just go around the edges to take off any build up of crystals. There we go, any residue, stop it crystallising because you don't want that grainy texture, you want a clear snap and bite. So it's starting to come up to the slow rolling boil again. So this time again, once it starts bubbling, away in a roll, just leave it alone, put your temperature gauge back in, careful it's very hot, and now just leave it for roughly about 20 minutes. So now as you can see, it's starting to decrease in volume now and it's starting to darken, so I'll start to see it to darken. We're roughly at around 116 centigrade at this stage. Okay, so we've got another couple of good degrees to go. You don't need to stir it, you just leave it alone and bubble away. And I've got that on half my cooker setting, so I've got it 3 out of 6, which just seems to be the right sweet spot for it. It's very important that you don't have too much heat or it'll catch and burn. And once it burns, it just ruins the whole tablet. So now we're just about there. As you can see, it's a lot darker now. We're at 118 centigrade. So at this point now, we're going to take it off the heat. Take your thermometer out. Very careful, absolutely burning hot here. Get some hot water here in a jug so you don't break it. You want to get yourself a whisk, okay, for later on. And now just pour it into a clean bowl. Alright. And now just leave that to settle for around about 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, now that it's settled, and you see it's all settled, stop bubbling, you need to start whisking it up. And it's very important that you do this, because this is what turns it into the tablet. Okay? So you must whisk it for 2 or 3 minutes. Alright? Whisk it quite briskly as well. You have to agitate the mixture, and this helps it to set properly. If you get a little tired with one hand, swap over to another, but keep whisking it as briskly as you can. Okay. And you'll start to see it lighten a little bit, you'll start to feel it get thicker as well, and it will ride up on the sides of the bowl, and you know it's starting to get ready. it's very, very important that you do this. If you don't do this, it won't set properly and it will come out all grainy, which is the last thing you want. I mean, it's like biting into a lump of brown sugar when it's like that, it's horrible. So it's very important that you do agitate the mixture by whisking it as briskly as you can. 2 or 3 minutes at most, and then that should be fine. You can see it's quite dark. A lot of other tablets are really quite light. I don't like them like that. I prefer if it's darker like this. If you kept on cooking this on a pot, you could get it up to what they call the hard crack stage, which is a way up. I think it's about 128 centigrade or something like that. You'll end up getting sweets. You can make butterscotch sweets if you want to. Same idea really, just the same ingredients. So I'm starting to feel it really thickening up now, as you can see. And this is just about right now and ready to pour into your prepared baking tray. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll turn this tray around and in she goes. Now you want to leave this to probably set for about 40 minutes. And you can see how it's already setting. And it's leaving a trail behind it. Wee shake there. Leave that for about 40 minutes. And then with a small sharp knife, mark out your portions. Okay. And then cut through, and then leave it to cool completely for roughly about another hour before. So this is now about 20 minutes now, and it's pretty much set already now this, so I need to mark it out while it's still a little bit soft. You obviously mark it out to whatever you want. It just helps it later on when it does set so that it breaks up evenly. 1, 2, 3. So here we are. This is about 35-40 minutes after I've marked out and cut the portions out. Turn it over. Voila! Lovely Scottish tablet. Still a little bit warm, like, but obviously it'll cool down a little quicker now that you've broken it up. Absolutely delicious. You can see it there, how nice it is. And it really is delicious, this. This is made with butter, remember, but it is possible to make it with baking margarine. As I do this every day down at work, because there's a tight roll. There you go, all finished. Let that cool down completely. You can bag them, gift them, or like me, discover it.